What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Dark Light coming right back at you, beautiful people, with another video. Yes, today we're gonna be reacting to a video that was highly requested by the beautiful angel Sophie Cooper. Yes, she requested me to react to the 15 things you didn't know about Uncle Iroh from Avatar: The Last Airbender. Now, please do not say anything about the name. I'm gonna butcher the names regardless. Uh, Miss Cooper, thank you for the request. If you have any more, let me know. And I hope you can spread the word. Go share the video with your friends, family. Have them come to this beautiful world that I am trying to create, even though my beard looks all fuzzy. I gotta get it trimmed again. But tell them to come to join this world of angels. We're trying to create a world that is beyond. Did it work? I hope so. But yes, so thank you, Mrs. Cooper. Now, I remember a while back somebody wanted me to do a reaction to Avatar: The Last Airbender. Reaction show. I'm not gonna do that because I seen this when it first aired in 2005, and this is probably one of the first, how should I put it, anime and cartoon animated show where I was able to watch every new episode all the way to the final season, to the final episode. And I think it ended, 2008? Because the movie came out in 2010. We ain't gonna even talk about the movie. Trash the movie. We're gonna act like it's never there. The movie sucked. But yeah, it ended in 2008, I believe. And I can't sit there and react to something that I've already seen because you're not getting a natural reaction from it. So, but yes. Now, Uncle Iroh, and like I said, I'm butchering the name, so if I did it wrong, I did it wrong. So don't put it in the comment. It's this day. Now, like I said, I butcher anime character names, so don't. But I love Uncle Iroh. He was probably the most funniest, besides Aang, he's probably one of the most funniest characters in there. He's like that grandfather that's trying to give a young child knowledge that's being stupid. Because he was always in the background sipping his tea, trying to get words of wisdom and to get his nephew to calm the heck down. And that's all he was doing. Well, not all he was doing, but he did some things that was just flat out just like, whew. He should have been, he can be somebody's granddaddy, But he was a cool cat. He was a cool cat daddy. Now, this video is made by Screen Rant. So it's the 15 things I didn't know about the uncle. And I'm actually interested in it. As much as I've watched Avatar, I'm interested in it. So, I'm already talking too much. Sophie, thank you once again. If y'all can, please, I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you do, you please hit that big blue button and, well, big blue thumb up button. I struggle with words sometimes because I'm trying to be funny, trying to be cool, trying to be relaxed. Then I got on purple looking like Barney. I'll probably edit that part out. Maybe not. Anyway, but yes. This video was made by Screen Rant, so we are going to get into it. Let's go. All right. Yo.
Avatar: The Last Airbender fans know that good old Uncle Iroh is more than
Oh,
just a
I
key
said it.
enthusiast.
Iroh.
Although he certainly is
I
that
hope
too,
they said it
there's
right.
much more to his story than we've been told on the show, and we might end up actually learning more about his past in our future. We'll talk about how the writers came up with this crazy awesome character, and why his bond with Zuko is even more incredible than many fans realize. If you're ever in a situation where you need a good cry and only have time to watch one episode of The Last Airbender, I'd definitely recommend The Tales of Ba Sing Se. You know, in addition to not getting yourself into such a strangely specific scenario in the future, this episode contains a few different stories, including the Tale of Iroh, which shows him spending a day in the city Ba Sing Se. He helps a young child, convinces a mugger to pursue his dream job. Don't worry, it's not mugging people. And he also pays tribute to his late son. This was entertaining and heartbreaking to watch, but don't forget the significance of Ba Sing Se itself. It's a place where Iroh's son lost his life while under his command, which caused him to break his legendary siege, which earned him no small amount of dishonor in the eyes of the Fire Nation. That's right, the Tale of Iroh is even more tragic than most fans realized. Alright, well, that was sad, so let's move on to something awesome Iroh can do. Through the study of waterbending, Iroh learned how to redirect lightning. It's a tricky move.
Come on, you've got to feel the flow.
But we've seen him do it a few times. There was the time he prevented lightning from striking Zuko's ship, and the time he redirected Azula's lightning away from Zuko himself. Have I mentioned that Zuko is really lucky to have him as an uncle? To make this all the more impressive, Iroh's the only person we've seen redirect naturally occurring
Doggone ass, I tell you. Weird ass.
occurring lightning on the show, and one of the few capable of manipulating lightning at all.
Yeah.
In the Taoist pantheon, there are 8 immortals, and one of them looks awfully similar to Uncle Iroh. His clothing, character design, and backstory resemble Sao Guochu. His father was a renowned military commander, but Sao Guochu left court because he found it didn't suit his quiet and virtuous demeanor. He's also similar to a character named Bak Mei from the movie Clan of the White Lotus.
Oh,
you've been lucky.
And we know Iroh is the Grand Master of the Order of the White Lotus in the series. Not to be confused with the White Lotus Society in Mortal Kombat, which is not quite the same. Funny enough, Pai Mei from Kill Bill 2 was also inspired by Bak Mei. And he's a little bit different from the kind old Uncle Iroh. According to head writer Aaron Eaz, Iroh's personality was inspired by his stepfather, whom he very much loved and looked up to. If you can't get enough of Uncle Iroh, you're not alone. So I almost hate to be the bearer of bad news and reveal that we almost got an entire episode just about him. Originally, the plan was to have an episode that would give fans an in-depth look at Iroh's past, but it just didn't end up happening. I know, I'm disappointed too, but don't lose hope, because Netflix is planning a live-action series of Avatar: The Last Airbender, and even better, the series creators pretty much promised it won't be anything like the infamously less-than-great M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Yes.
In fact, they said they hope that this series gives them a chance to explore more of our favorite characters. I know a lot of folks want more Cabbage Man, but I have my heart set on more Iroh and Cabbage Man. My cabbages! Hey, listen, if you're gonna dream big. Saying humans love Iroh is a given, but even the spirits living in the world of The Last Airbender have an affinity for him. And that goes both ways, since he warned Zhao about messing with the moon spirit. Zhao, the spirits are not to be trifled with, even though he predictably didn't heed his warning. Whatever you do to that spirit, I'll unleash on you tenfold. We've seen Iroh notice the spirits of Aang and Fang flying overhead when nobody else could sense them, and being able to see these creatures outside the spirit realm is something quite extraordinary.
But nigga,
we all know that Prince Zuko went through one doozy of a redemption arc over the course of Avatar: The Last Airbender. He set out determined to destroy Aang and earn his way back into his father's good graces, but ended up becoming an ally of the Avatar instead. Funny how that works. But even though Iroh was working against Aang for most of the show, there was only a single occasion when he directly took action against him, and it was right in the second episode. When Aang and his friends escaped Zuko's ship on Appa, Zuko and Iroh tried to stop them with fire. Hey, at least they didn't succeed. Even though Zuko doesn't start out as the nicest guy on the series, it's hard not to feel bad for him, considering his father and sister. Of course, we know how lucky he was to have his Uncle Iroh in his life, but what you might not know is that he very nearly wasn't. Iroh was always going to be his uncle, but originally, he was going to be a much more strict, no-nonsense kind of guy, like what we saw in the episode Zuko Alone, when we saw a glimpse of Iroh while his son was still alive.
Yeah.
If you didn't have a chance to see The Legend of Korra, you might not
That's
know
the
Iroh's
only
fate.
thing I ain't
When he
seen
reached
yet.
the end of his life, he didn't quite head to the afterlife the way most humans
I'ma
in this
have to
universe
watch The
tend
Legend
to.
of Korra. I haven't
Instead,
seen
he
it yet.
crossed over into the spirit
I
world,
started
where he
it.
later encounters Korra. Although this is impressive, it's not entirely surprising considering the affinity for spirits Iroh displayed throughout Avatar: The Last Airbender. During the
started
Tale
it,
of
but then I
Iroh,
started
you might have
telling
noticed an
off 'cause I
image
started
which
getting
simply
other
read
stuff.
in honor of Mako. Although there was no explanation given on the show, this was a tribute to legendary voice actor Mako Iwamatsu, who was more commonly known as just Mako. Some of his other credits include Aku from Samurai Jack
Haku!
and Master Splinter in the TMNT movie.
Ninja! Ninja! Man, come on, bruh. All these doggone ads.
Ooh, and listen now.
Sadly,
I made
he passed
another
away during
funny.
Book 2, and voice actor Greg Baldwin took over as Iroh for the remainder of the season, Book 3, and The Legend of Korra. Baldwin acknowledged that he could never be Mako, but did his best to voice Iroh in a way familiar to fans. Despite the fact that he
I
was
really didn't
Mako's
know that 'cause I
understudy,
didn't
the two of them
go
never
into
actually met in
deep
person.
details.
Although he took over and started voicing both Iroh and Aku, there's one thing Baldwin refuses to do, and that is sing Leaves from the Vine from the Tale of Iroh. Now, if you'll excuse me, I seem to be allergic to facts about Iroh. Listen, I know The Last Airbender live-action movie wasn't the best, to put it mildly, but let's take a moment to appreciate the fact that even in what is definitely not M. Night Shyamalan's finest cinematic achievement, Iroh is one of the best parts. And if not the best, then at least one of the few parts that made sense. Along with the many fan complaints regarding this movie is the fact that firebenders can't conjure fire, they can only bend existing flames with the exception of Iroh, who can generate fire using his chi. The story of Avatar Aang started out a long time ago, before he ended up frozen in ice for 100 years. But let's not forget an important part of Iroh's backstory, which isn't emphasized on the show. We know Iroh is Zuko's uncle, and used to have a son of his own, but he was also supposed to be the Lord of the Fire Nation at one point. Yes, he spent all of his time, energy, and effort trying to help Zuko get back to his father's good graces, when his father was the person who basically usurped the throne from him in the first place. As the eldest son of Fire Lord Azulon, the Fire Nation was Iroh's birthright. When he abandoned the siege at Ba Sing Se, Ozai asked their father to make him the heir to the throne instead, pointing out that Iroh no longer has a son to continue their royal line. Wow, for a firebender, that's cold as ice. It's a sad backstory, but it also makes Iroh's love and dedication to Zuko all the more impressive.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything Iroh loves more than Zuko, except maybe tea.
Yeah, he loves his
Secret
tea boy.
ingredient is love.
This tea is nothing more than hot leaf juice, Uncle. That's what all tea is. I'm certainly not going to be the one to tell him that tapioca tea he invented is pretty much just bubble tea. Anyway, in the graphic novel, The Search Part 1, Iroh takes over as Fire Lord, albeit temporarily. Although his reign is short, it's powerful enough for him to declare a National Tea Appreciation Day.
Oh, wow.
Really, it's a crying shame that he didn't rule the Fire Nation instead of his brother Ozai. The relationship between Iroh and Zuko is one of the highlights of the show. Even
Yeah.
if Zuko isn't quite as outwardly affectionate as his uncle, I think of you as my own. We know he had a son of his own named Lu Ten, but all things considered, we really don't know much about Iroh's past.
Yeah.
My beloved Lieutenant.
Well, this
Even the
anime
creators
has
of
so much
Avatar: The Last
character
Airbender admit
development,
that
man.
the more we learn
Good
about Iroh's
action.
past, the more questions linger. Most
mean,
fans
you
assume
talking
losing
about
Lu Ten
Aang,
was the reason for Iroh's
Zuko,
personality change and the
Iroh,
warmth that he displays towards
all
his
these
nephew.
characters
When we see a portrait of Lu Ten, the text
had
on it
character
roughly translates to
development, man.
the General Iroh. See you after we win the war. Your loyal son, Lu Ten. Ozai's plan to skip ahead in the line of succession was morally reprehensible, but that doesn't mean it wasn't effective. Well, kind of. See, Fire Lord Azulon also thought Ozai's request was horrible and decided it deserved an even worse punishment. He demanded Ozai level the playing field by eliminating his son Zuko.
Dad's going to kill you.
Ozai, the hot-blooded, cold-hearted jerk, was totally fine with it. And the only reason Zuko's alive is because his mother Ursa helped her husband make a poison to take out a Zulon. Did I mention Iroh's family is terrible? Because they're really the worst, with a few notable exceptions. Iroh transcended into the spirit world, but his legacy lives on, as does his name. His nephew Zuko had a child named Izumi, who grew up to have a son named Iroh after his great-great-uncle. Not only that, but he also rose to rank of general, and had a close relationship with Zuko, just like the late great Iroh himself. Co-creator Bryan Konietzko has even called him Iroh the Younger, which is just a fantastic nickname. Do you think Uncle Iroh has earned his place as a fan-favorite character, or...
There we go. Uncle Iroh. The most lovable character. Yeah, he was he's a lovable character. I'm sorry. I don't care what nobody says. I mean, this series has so much development and characters, stories, things to tell. It has some good, some great moments in here. Some good quotes that you can actually live on in real life, use in real life. There was so much with this, and I'm sorry. I wish I could get back into it, but there's so much other stuff that's been coming out. So if I do, it's gonna mostly be things watching it on my own time. But I can really see why Miss Cooper, this character, is your favorite. I can say a lot of reasons why. I mean, if he would probably be in my top 3 of all time characters. He's a very wonderful character, a wonderful guy. Even though he probably had a bunch of things happen in his past, it's like he don't want it to repeat itself. He changed, but he was a smart character. Give him his tea. Let him talk smack. Follow his nephew to the end of time, and that's all. That's all you can ask for. You know. So I mean, I can see why you love him. But I hope everyone out there enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit that big blue thumbs up button. And if you're new to the channel, y'all, please subscribe and become a part of the world of angels. Let's become a part of a world where we can travel through all the universes in gaming, movies, anime. But if you're a 90s baby, hey, you can come here. If you love gaming, come here. I can give you news, trailers, whatever you want to go. Superhero, Marvel, DC, whatever you want to go. So please hit that big red subscribe button. If you join, you can always request me to see videos and trailers and stuff that I don't catch. You can always catch them, help me catch them. And I will give you my expression, my reaction, my thoughts, and I guarantee you will become a part of me as I am of you. That sounded corny, sounded weird, sounded nasty. Okay, we're gonna be like, nah. Just leave, whatever. And please, share the video with your friends, family. You know, share it. Spread the word so I can get more people, so we can get more people into the world. Because this channel is only here because of you guys. Not me. I started it. You guys pushed it, commented, showed some love, showed interest. Everything is done because of you. So it's all thanks to you. Help this world grow. Help it grow. Dark Light will catch you guys next time. Cheerio.